What up, Ninja Village? Welcome to another episode of Chronicles Reviews with the Less Than Stealthy Ninjas, and I am your host today, Scooter Ray. Bars, by the way. Bars on bars. And today, I am reviewing Joker, Folie. Now, before I get into that, what's Chronicles Reviews for the uninitiated? That's where one or more ninjas talk about anything from movies, TV, games, events, conventions, and everything in between. And like I mentioned, talking about Joker, Folie, Joker, Madness for Two, because that's what Folie loosely translates. A great Fall Out Boy album, Folie. I wish I was talking about that. I wish I was talking about that classic Fall Out Boy album, but no. I am talking about Joker, Folie. It's the sequel to the Joker movie that starred Joaquin Phoenix. In this one, Joaquin Phoenix returns back as Joker. Then you have Lady Gaga starring as Harleen Quinzel, or a rendition of her. And this movie picks up 2 years after the events of the first one. Arthur is in prison, loosely more in Arkham or Arkham Asylum, and essentially this movie surrounds the case. It's this highly publicized case of this man killed 5 people. He has this fan base. So he's going to be the first case in Gotham that's going to be publicized on TV, all this media attention and everything. And essentially, he runs into, in essence, the love of his life in Harley, Lady Gaga. And it just descends into madness, like Folie states. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just get to it. I'm gonna just rip the Band-Aid off. This ain't it. This movie was not it. Taiki B and I went to go see it Friday, and it was not it. This was 2 hours of just... Okay, finally, it's this is coming from someone who loved. When I say love the first one, I mean the first one gets a solid 8.5 to 9. To this day, I love that first movie. This one, it almost felt like, and of course, this is my opinions. Whatever opinions you have, feel free to share down in our comments below. But it almost felt as if they didn't truly have a plan for a sequel, but since the first one did well, it almost felt like, okay, y'all need to make a sequel. And writing it, and then we get here. Because one of the first jarring things was that they announced Todd Phillips was like, hey, it's going to be a musical. It's going to be a what? And spoiler, the reason why it was a musical, because all of a sudden, in his time of reflected in prison, Arthur was like, hey, music has always made me happy. Music has always been this stage. And it was like, where was that layer of his character in the first movie? In the first movie, he just wanted to be a comedian. That's how he ended up on stage, got laughed at, and that's how he ended up on the Murray Franklin show. So it's like, where did this musical aspect came in? It truly felt that way when they realized they landed Lady Gaga. Then it was like, okay, we got to use Gaga for the music. We just got it. We got to use her for the music. But it was just like them having this musical aspect. It made sense for some moments. And when I mean some moments, like 2. But at times, the music aspect felt like, let's harken back to Sucker Punch. If y'all seen Sucker Punch way back in the day, remember in Sucker Punch when those young women were forced to do their dances and things, they imagined these elaborate adventures. And that's what was kind of happening. It was times when they wanted to use that escapism, or the times where they wanted you to truly convey how the person may be feeling inside or whatever. Let's use a musical number. And it was totally unnecessary. Totally unnecessary for this movie. It did not need the musical numbers at all. Out of the, I want to say, roughly 15-ish, it was not needed. This was something that they did not have to introduce to his character. They could have simply had them meet the way they met, and it could have just been the aspect of them two being quote unquote madly in love with each other, and them trying to figure out how Arthur's going to get free, per se, and whatever. But them doing the musical numbers, it was like, okay, cool, I guess. And it wasn't like, and in all honesty, we know how talented Lady Gaga is, depending on how you feel about her music or not. It wasn't like, I want to say there was maybe like one or two of the songs she sung where it was like she was singing that motherfucking song. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, it was just like loose vocals. Like, I'm warming up vocals. It was only literally a couple where she was like singing, where it was like, all right, bet. But it just wasn't needed. It was a element in that story that was not needed. And even the story that they wanted to tell, when you kind of stand back and realize, if you can stand back and realize what the overall story was telling, it was like, y'all could have did something better with this. Something way better. Like, I understand, and once again, spoilers. It was kind of telling a story of who's in control, per se. Is it Arthur or is it Joker? And if your personalities, per se, or your personas are two drastically different people, who do you let take over? That's kind of the overall story. And life can be unfair. But yeah, this one, at best, a strong 5. A strong 5 Joker laughs out of 10. Strong 5. I really can't give it no higher. I don't foresee me watching this again. I don't see this being one of those movies that when it comes to Max, it's gonna get a strong cult following. I don't see, this is definitely one of those movies to where even if you hear some deep down people breaking it down, it's still gonna be like, okay, that's fine and all, but what was presented on screen, I didn't like. And that's the overall thing about this movie. Even if you can watch explanations, or even if you get explanations of everything, it still does not help what was presented on screen. And that's what's ultimately messed this movie up. What was presented on screen was not good. It was just, it felt like the ideas was just going as the movie was going. And when we get to the end, it was like, we did all of this for that. We did all of this to get to this. All of this. Two hours to get to those last 15 minutes. But yeah, a strong 5. Strong 5. if you have that morbid curiosity of wanting to watch it, if you got stuff that would, like I have the AMC pass where I can see the movies for free and this, that, and the third, maybe. If you just really want to see the second one because you love the first one and you just have to see it, okay. If you feel like you have to wait to streaming, okay. But otherwise, this is not one of those go out and go see the movie. No, I definitely cannot say that. And that's pretty much my time. Shout outs to Run Your Miss, Cosmic Boss. Shout outs to Taiki B, because we both came out there just like could have threw something at the screen. But then we would have felt bad because it ain't the screen's fault. But whether you love this or hate it, don't forget to rate it, thumbs up, thumbs down, like, share, comment. Let us know what you thought of Joker Folie or Deux. If you loved it, tell us why. If you hate it, tell us why. Because I'll be in that same boat of the hate. That's just me, of course. I'm just one man with his opinion. You don't have to take it as gold. I'm just letting you know. This movie was a no. After you do all of that, you gotta subscribe. After you subscribe, you gotta hit that notification bell so you can be notified for other CCRs, Ninja Banters, LTSN cafes, and of course, Boss Reacts, where Cosmic Boss reacts to different trailers of just whatever he feels like reacting to. Thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, love one another, take care of one another, take care of yourself, look out for your mental, physical, and come on into the Ninja Village. At the end of the day, we're just trying to make y'all proud. Joker, Folie or Deux, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga. In the words of M.A. I can't do. And that's a very, 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 very inside joke. Shout out to Cosmic Boss because he'll know. I can't do. Folie or Deux. Peace. And bars.